Obviously this is the eBay Snorkel for the 100 series Land Cruiser. Alright, what's up guys? Welcome back. Another video. Obviously I'm wearing the same clothes as the last video because it's the same day. Today we're going to try to knock out, not only did we knock out the 1-inch cranking of the torsions, or 1 inch higher in the front. It looks better, it sits better. It's still a little lower than the rear again, but it's alright. I like it that way, just in case we have to load some stuff. It kind of levels out. But today we will be attempting to be official. When I say official overlanding vehicle, at least in my opinion, right? If you see a vehicle with the Snorkel, you're like, oh, overlander, right? Obviously there's more to that, but just being funny, I think we should make it the official product. If you don't have a Snorkel, you're not overlanding, or you're not an overlander. I don't know, just playing around. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Let me show you what's involved in the kit. Ended up going with the eBay. I didn't want to spend $450, $500 for a premium model. I talked to everybody. I said I put a recommendation, or asked everybody what do they think is the best Snorkel for the price in the market. Everybody said go eBay. They said it wasn't worth going to Safari just because of the price point, or you just want to be fancy, but it's the same thing, and let's hope so. We're gonna have to be cutting a hole in the fender, so they supplied a template. Obviously the scoop, 4 washers, 4 nuts, 4 these things, I forgot what they're called. 6 rivets, 3 hose clamps, the hose that goes in the fender, and obviously the tube that goes on the exterior of the vehicle. So they don't provide any type of instructions, they just provide the template and pretty much tell you to drill. So based off other people's installations, it's a lot easier if you get into the fender well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift the truck up, I'm going to jack it, lift it and put a jack underneath it for safety, and I'm going to remove the inner fender well, and hopefully it makes it a lot easier than having to pull on it, where I've seen some people do that. And let's try measuring first. That's the biggest thing. I'm kind of nervous drilling into it. I don't care about the fender, but just having to drill into something and not knowing if it's right. So let me actually show you guys what I got. So I wasn't able to find a 4.5 inch hole saw, but I did find a 4 1/4. This is going to put it pretty tight. So if we flip this over, this is about 4 inches the hole. So this is going to give us literally, like, it's going to be a snug fit. But what I ended up doing, and I think it should be fine, but we'll do worst case scenario. I have a file, and I'll file if I do need some type of movement. Pretty much should be fine. Let's hope so. If not, like I said, I'll file some down, but at least it'll be snug in there. And yeah, that's and I got some silicone as well, because I don't want no rust. Obviously silicone for the holes on the top mount. I already put that there, sorry. So this is also included in the kit, the bracket up top. So I'm going to include some silicone, and I might do a little bit of spraying where I cut, some primer, and yeah, let's hopefully this is going to be the key in aligning it. What I'm mainly worried about is the hole having to cut and making sure this is level to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the bolts that go in here to make sure that we line up onto there. I have some blue tape here. Hopefully that'll guide us. So I'm going to put the bolts through here so we can put the template through here. They put a whole template through there, and I'm assuming that's the center portion of it. Based off of here, it looks like it. And everything else is supposed to line up accordingly. So I'm assuming that goes there, that goes there. I'm gonna get these 4 self-screwing nuts, and I'm gonna go ahead and put them in there as guides next to these to help us align this and make sure the holes are aligned. The template isn't perfect, but I mean, based off what I did is, like I mentioned, I put this bracket here on because I wanted to test, make sure that we have it aligned. So I don't want to make the other hose and not have this aligned first. So what we'll do is do the big holes first, and then we can move this back and forth and adjust it from the top, and that'll give us our hole measurements for our bottom holes too. Thank you. Can I get more, please? I'm cutting it. And I'll do that here. Actually, I'll put another one because I didn't like how that one's put there. And that's what our template tells us. What do you guys think? If we drill and it's not there, we have a big ass hole. Let me sit back and think about it. So I matched it back up. It's still taped to where I thought it was. The template is not completely where I think it was supposed to go. I do have it right where I want to have the top bracket. What we did is we use a marker around the hole to see if it matches up to the little hole that there was there for template. So let's look. It looks pretty good, because that's the hole that they tell you to drill in. We just gotta make sure that we keep it where we want it to. So that's the hole. It looks like it's perfectly in the middle. And again, measure 20 times and cut twice. Let's just go ahead and do it and wish the best. If not, we have a hole. If not, we're gonna have to buy a new fender. So it is what it is. Okay, we got that. We got the hole in there. We might need more power. Yes, we're gonna need more power. So we got the bigger one, electric. So yeah, let's do this. Plastic, actually. So we just drill through the plastic. And until we remove the plastic, it's not going to go all the way in, but plenty of room to adjust if we needed to. Goes right there. I think we're good. Let's remove these plastic. Let's get under here, and then we'll go from there, and we'll start drilling on the other holes too. Before we drill these holes, I want to make sure that this is mounted, this is perfect, and yeah, let's take off the bottom. Alright, we put floor jacks on the frame to make sure that we're safe. The jack is still on it. There's a tire underneath it just in case it does fall. One thing I am noticing, I started taking these off and they break. So try to be as smooth as possible. They're very small, so they're nubbies. So don't try to rush it, and save as much as these, because these break. Everything on this vehicle, this plastic, they brittle off and they break off. So try to save as many as you can. Be very gentle with them. It'd probably be a lot. I'll be able to get away with it just like this. So I drilled into the factory airbox. Didn't know that was there, but it is what it is. Let me show you guys what it looks like. So this goes to the airbox and then goes to filter. So you can tell that over here on this side isn't opened. It's open on this side, so it's getting all the air from the back of the vehicle. So obviously going with the air on the roof or in the exterior instead of in the fender back here, it works a lot better up there than it is here. And then it could actually, I don't know how you would get dirt or mud in there, but it's better up there than, I mean, the intake or the inlet, it's better up there than down here. I'm going to remove this 10 millimeter right here. And there's one more up here, so there's 3 total. I'll take that off and get back to you guys. We might have to take this tube out from the airbox, so let's remove the airbox now. Alright, remove the top of the airbox. Make sure you don't get nothing in there. Remove the filter. Might need to replace that. Airbox out. Now we remove this plastic piece here. I believe so. There's no instructions. The reason I say that is because I'm assuming that this goes here and we clamp it down to here, right? Or does it go this way? Might be this way. Or we clamp this into here and it replaces that box in there, and this goes into the air filter here. Alright, that removed the elbow that's there. I'm not sure if we're going to need it, but it did drop the intake that was in there. So that's what the air intake system looks like when it's in the fender. Obviously you guys see I drilled a hole right through that sucker right there because of that. So one thing I would do the other way around would be removing the airbox, removing the airbox, removing this, and then doing all your mocking, doing your holes. So remove this first if you don't want to damage it. If not, you could JB weld it. So now let's put the tube on, the hosing, and mock it up for the rest of the different holes that we need to put. We still have 5 different holes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 and 7 up on the pillar. And hopefully we get this done before it gets dark. One thing I'm going to do is file it around the edges to get those sharp edges out. And then I did have some of this. It's just a metallic cast iron paint. I'm going to paint it from here now that I have this to protect it, and paint it from the inside from it rusting. I mean, I doubt it. We're in Southern California, but better safe than sorry. What I did is flip these around to give me a flat surface. I'm going to show you guys a trick I like doing. I like, putting some nail, actually thicker better. That's good. Is putting some nail polish on these so it marks the spot, and just the top. To see where it marks the hole compared to the template. So I'm gonna mark the hole, put the circle, put the inlet in, mark where I want to be over here, and then I'm gonna mark it right there, and that should give me marks on either on the metal on the fender or on the template. Perfect. Love it. Alright, by putting nail polish on the tips, it will mark my spots. So it marked it literally right there. So the hole is pretty off. Marked it right above it. Marked it right there. So you can see that I didn't get a mark here, but it looks pretty good because it's on here. So it gives me an idea that these two bottom ones are pretty exact. So we're going to go ahead and actually go off of that, then the template. So we're going to do a smaller drill. This one you could tell that it was completely off, so the center is a little higher. So we're going to go off that. We're going to use a smaller drill bit first, and then we're going to go with a bigger one to fill that hole. Alright, no going back from there. So now what we could do is, now that we have these holes set, we're going to remove this. And now we actually have our holes. Let's try this, see if they... I think we're good. I think just got to make them bigger now. So recommended is a step drill bit to make it easier. I couldn't find one, so some of them are a little bit oblong, but let's test fit it. Fits perfectly on the line. This will push up against here, so all the holes are clear. But once you pull it from the inside and bolt it down, it's gonna be a lot easier, because you're gonna have to pull it into the fender and then pull it into the A-pillar over here. Once we get all this done, I'm gonna mark the A-pillar. So hopefully I can get all this done before it gets dark to show you guys. As you guys could tell, it's getting dark on me, so I was able to put the airbox in. It's locked. I put the hose, as you guys can see, I also painted these holes just in case I didn't show that in the video. So the hose is still here, right here. But what I did is I clamped the hose to the airbox. I clamped it through this side, just so it had, on the OEM box, there's a step to it. So I wanted to clamp it through here because the bigger lip was on here. So the only way you could access this to release it is going to be through the inner fender well. So, but that's the way I did it, and there's a hose, and so the only way you could remove any of these hoses is through the inner fender well. But that's what I did. I'm going to get into it. I do apologize if this is not step by step, but we're losing light. Next step is to, obviously these come loose, so, and they have an Allen wrench to tighten them up. So what I'm going to do is, I used them, like I said, the flat side to mark my holes. I'm going to use some semi-permanent tread locks, so I just want to be able to put this so these don't loosen up, but I mean they won't, but I'm going to put it on this side. Make sure the Allen head is on the top side. So I bought some silicone. Obviously you're going to need some silicone. So I put double stick tape on my 8-pillar bracket, and then it got stuck to there, so that gives me the mounts where I want to be. I'm going to put some silicone around the holes that I drilled there. I'm going to put some silicone around here so that water doesn't go into the fender when it rains or when we splash through the mud. So I'm just going to put it around the edge. Make sure it's in the hose. It is. Perfect. We got our washers and lock nuts for the back. We'll start one by one from one side to the other side, so that I'm not gonna have you guys stay here and watch this, but I'm just trying to do as much step by step as possible. So I'm going to put all the washers with the lock nuts in the back, and we keep going. So bolt it down and use the washers and the lock nuts for the air snorkel, or the snorkel. I tighten it down. All I have to do left is to make sure that I get the rivets on this upper bracket up top. Just put the top piece on it. Yeah, so all I have to do is put the wheel well in there, tighten up the hose at the bottom, and I'm pretty much done with, and then put the tires. I'm gonna do a walkthrough tomorrow and show you actually a mistake that I did. I'm okay with it, but I'd rather have done the mistake and done it on video so that you guys don't do it. Maybe you know, maybe you guys wouldn't have done it, but I did it, and hopefully you guys learn from it. So tomorrow I'll go ahead, I'm gonna finish this up and I'll do a final walkthrough. How would I done it? I've done step by step, possibly maybe on the description, and make it a little easier for people with 100 series Land Cruiser, and so that you guys learn from my mistake. My mistake is not bad, but it might be to some. So for me, I'm just enjoying this process. I'm enjoying both of my cars, or all of my cars, and documenting everything. So hopefully you guys learn from this, and you know, yours will look a lot better. But yeah, tomorrow morning I'll catch you guys. Well, I'll catch you in the morning. So it's the next day. Intake is completely put on, and I'm going to tell you what step by step how I would have done it, because there is no instructions, and there'll be, I might try to put this on the below on the descriptions for you guys to know. Obviously this is the eBay snorkel for the 100 series Land Cruiser, and all right, let me tell you how I would do it. First and foremost, what you want to do is take off your airbox. That's the first thing you want to do. Your airbox, disconnect it from the mass air sensor, and obviously disconnect the plug as well. Take your airbox out. Take the plastic elbow that's in here from the box. It's 2 bolts, I believe. Lift your tire. It'll make it a lot easier if you take off your wheel. Again, be very, very careful with those clips. I broke a couple. I might end up having to order some. Lift your truck. Make sure you're safe. You put jacks on there. Remove the tire. Remove the wheel well, or half of it, and then it'll make it very easier to get to the tube that goes from here to here. Remove that, because you don't want to drill how I did it and drill into the original tubing once you make your hole. Second of all, you always want to measure. So I got this down, this part right here, pretty good. I think it's perfect. But I'm going to show you where actually I did a mistake, and I'm okay with it, and I can live with it. Like I mentioned, I believe yesterday, what I did is the L bracket that goes right here. When I was aligning this, which again, I got this one down. When I was aligning this, I didn't want to get this elbow too far out this way, so my mind, I wasn't even thinking. I didn't look it up. I didn't research it or anything like that. I just went ahead and did it myself. So what I ended up doing is measuring from here to here. But what I didn't know is the better way, and obviously the right way if I had instructions, or if I would have researched it, is to flip this L-shaped bracket the other way around, so this part is on the inside, and you would still have this, but this part would go that way. And what that does, it brings your tube 1 inch, or about a 1 inch, 1.25 inches closer to the A-pillar, and that will actually allow the intake to sit right up on it or close to it, and that will give you a better fit. Obviously it doesn't disturb, well, it doesn't block the antenna from coming up and down, but if I ever wanted to remove the antenna and unscrew it, it is an issue. So as you can see from here, the tube goes up, and how this is supposed to go, it's supposed to be straight and then cuts up. So my biggest mistake, and I couldn't fix that mistake already because I had already drilled all my other bolts. So first things first, I would suggest drill your big hole if you can, and then once you get it aligned perfect, like this is pretty good. I really like how it's done. Once this is perfect, put your bracket on the other way around, not like I did, and put double stick tape on the bracket on the bottom part, and so when you align it and you align it from the hole from here and you put it on, you can unbolt it, and now that'll give you your mark where the bracket should go and where the rivets should go. So obviously what I did is I drilled the holes because I couldn't do anything about it anymore. So what I did is I just kept the bracket here. So unless you know about the 100 series air intake, you would know about that. Again, hopefully, you know, me doing this video it's gonna help a lot of people from mistakes and from learning from me, and I'm okay with it. Again, it works. 65 bucks online. If you really, I recommend it. I've already, as you can see, since yesterday, I actually went out trailing yesterday or this morning, compared to how it was. So now it's has one. It works perfect. Loved it. I mean, unless somebody else knows, then they'll be like, hey, you installed it wrong. So one thing I did do is put silicone around the holes so that no water would go in. So when I tied it down, it would cover it. Also with here, I put silicone. It had double stick tape so the metal doesn't hit metal to metal, and I put silicone around the holes that I drilled, and then I did the rivets. But I mean, other than that, I mean, pretty much simple. So if you follow those steps, you follow or don't follow my mistakes, follow my instructions, and learn from my mistakes, I think you'll enjoy it. For $65, you could go pick one up on my description below. I'll put it down below, so if you're interested in picking up one of these, I mean, instead of spending so much money on the Gucci stuff, you spend 65 plus tax and shipping, I believe, or just tax. And yeah, one thing I did add to it, because I didn't want to have to be replacing the factory style air filter, I went ahead and bought a K&N filter, just because, I mean, might as well, if I'm already replacing the if I'm already adding the Snorkel, I might as well replace the filter with a K&N filter, so you know, I don't have to worry about having to purchase another one. Just have to purchase the the cleaning kit and the oil kit, and we're set. So yeah, use the K&N, and I'm excited. I'm excited to put some miles on the tires, the grill, the Snorkel, and just the truck in general. So stay tuned. So next mod is the suspension. If not, we'll do some other stuff. So click on the description below if you want to buy one. I'll put the link there. And yeah, and I appreciate you guys supporting and watching this video. And I think we're done. I appreciate it. Hopefully that helped out, and I'll catch you on the next one.